Regular exercise is necessary in order to live a happy, fulfilling life with your body. If you don't exercise daily, or regularly at least, then you might end up like a friend of mine named Carl. Carl was an average man, he had an average job, and a less than average home life. Everything was fine, he was in his mid-40s, life was fine until his wife left him. After that happened, his social life crashed and burned. He didn't enjoy going to work, and he had no home life to enjoy since his wife had left. He began to gain weight, and he began to eat out more, and unsurprising, he entered into a depression. He started going to a therapist multiple times a week, and he began taking antidepressants to help him. But even though his bills were increasing, he didn't feel like his health was. Now, unfortunately, many of you have friends or family members just like Carl, or maybe you're a Carl yourself. What's even more unfortunate is that Carls will continue to be created unless something changes. A study in Jordanstown tracked young women who simply increased the number of stairs that they walked up every day. They began with 199 stairs in the first week, and by week 7, they were walking up 6 times that. Results showed considerable cardiovascular health benefits in women who, before the study, did not exercise at all. I don't know if you knew this, I hope you did, but the heart is a very vital organ. Climbing a few stairs every day, or more than a few, is a worthy sacrifice in order to help your heart, don't you think? Now let's move on from there. Instead of just heart problems, what if you have diabetes? Or blood pressure, high blood pressure. We all have blood pressure. High blood pressure. Are you tired all the time? Imagine what your life would be like if you didn't have to deal with those problems. You would be in less pain, there would be fewer doctor visits, and you wouldn't have as many bills. Life would be that much easier. Now, this coincides with something that the University of Missouri's Cardiovascular Research Department said. They said this: moderate to vigorous intensity physical activity has an established preventative role in cardiovascular disease, type 2 diabetes, obesity, and some cancers. Okay? Just think about that for a second. If life-threatening diseases can be fixed by exercise, then what is a possible excuse not to do it? Imagine how surprised your doctor would look if you went to visit him and instead of having the usual bad news on the chart, there was a healthy change. Imagine the look on his face. Are you willing to work for that? It will take some work. Now, before we go back to Carl, I want to tell you about my sister. She's a genius. She's incredibly smart. She had started her own business. She was newly married. She had lots of friends. She had a wonderful social life. She was living happily. And then her husband, who was in the military, was assigned to a base in Korea. She had to move. The business she had started from the ground up was gone. Her friends were gone. The only way she could talk with her family is if she decided to stay up late at night. Even the food was different. No surprise, she entered into a depression. Before too long, Rachel decided to do some research. She found Scott Douglas say this, and he wrote a book. It's about depression and antidepressants. So this is what he says about the book. Regular aerobic exercise is as effective as antidepressants in reducing symptoms of mild to moderate depression. Now, there are limits, but this is still important. Mild to moderate depression. So, what that means is exercise can be more powerful than antidepressants. Isn't that shocking? Excuse me. Rachel decided she had nothing to lose. She paid for a gym membership and started working out 3 times per week. Within 1 month, she was able to honestly say that she was enjoying her days instead of just enduring them. She started a new business and began applying for Pathway. Now she's going to go to school like us. She has company over at her house almost every week, and she laughs again. You can imagine what a relief it's been for me and the rest of my family members. Who do you know who is struggling with something like this? Maybe they're unhappy with how they look, or they feel sick, or they feel depressed and down all of the time. Imagine how the quality of their lives would improve if they gave their bodies the exercise that they need and crave. Think about your own life. What things do you need to change in order to be happy? Now let's go back to our dear friend Carl. Carl, like Rachel, joined a gym. He did it after gaining nearly 50 pounds onto his already portly frame. It was a spur-of-the-moment decision, and he thought little would change. But he decided to go for the first time. He stayed for only 10 minutes. 10 minutes. He walked for 5, jogged for 1, and walked for another 4 minutes on a treadmill, and then he packed up and left. A strange thing happened that night. He actually slept well. So he decided to go back the next day, staying again for only 10 minutes. But this time, he jogged for 1.5 minutes instead of just 1 minute. He continued going, not every day, but he made the deal with himself never to skip more than 1 day at a time. He started to make friends at the gym. He learned what some of the other machines did. Instead of 10 minutes, he stayed for 15. And then 30 minutes. And then 45 and 60. He began to sleep deeply at night, and he craved healthier foods. Little by little, his moods improved. He learned to smile and laugh again. It was easier for him to put his heart into his work. It was easier for him to walk up the stairs instead of taking the elevator. It was easier for him to look into the mirror. His body was happy, and it was sharing that improvement with him, not just as a number on the scale. And he began to like himself again. Within 6 months, he had the confidence to go up and talk to a woman who later became his wife. And it all started with just 10 minutes of exercise. Now let's get back to you. You might not be in a situation like Carl or like Rachel, but something in your life might be missing. You have problems. We all do. They might not be as big as Carl's or Rachel's. But think about this. Your body craves exercise like you crave sleep. Give it what it wants. Now go out and exercise for 10 minutes.